get mad at and what they don't decide to get mad at. Because this is the thing that I found.
Takes a little 10 minute countdown.
When Floyd Mayweather was doing,
10 minutes, starting now.
They were doing one of those behind the scenes things at his gym. And he has what he calls doghouse fights. And let me just say that this kind of thing has been going on in gyms forever, right? They've always had gym wars. And people have even set up, this was a thing that I'm pretty sure became illegal in California fairly recently, in the last decade. They stopped allowing people to have what they call smokers. And what a smoker is, they have organized fights, but there's not really like a lot of medical on hand.
Nobody gets paid.
Nobody gets paid, but it gives people valuable experience. They used to have a lot of them in Muay Thai. Like, I used to go to them. They were cool. They would set up like these little plastic lawn chairs. You pay a small amount of money, you know, like $30 or something like that, and you go and you watch all these amateur fights. And a lot of times kids are pretty fucking talented, and it's fun to watch. But so they've always had organized gym fights. So essentially, what Floyd Mayweather did was have his own like in-house gym fights, like amateur fights. Like, they didn't even disguise the fact that it was a competition. Like, they weren't trying to spar. Like, these guys are having fights. And he's talking about how it's to the death. It's really crazy. And he has these guys. One guy gets beat up, and he's Hasim Rahman's brother or son. Hasim Rahman's son, I believe. See if you can Google who the gentleman was. Okay, his brother. Maybe it's his brother. That makes more sense. Because Hasim Rahman is not that old to have a kid that's that, you know, like that developed. Because he looks like he's like in his 20s. Maybe he is. Anyway, point being, so this English guy beats up Hasim Rahman's one brother, and then the mom comes back with the bigger brother, and the English guy fights him too, all on the same day. And they're fighting like these 30-minute rounds. It's crazy. And they put it on TV. Yeah, I mean, dude, there's definitely winner and loser. What's crazy is...
Sorry. The question was, is there penis?
No, I don't think there is. I mean, there might be. I mean, Floyd might reward them or something like that. But, I mean, it's crazy shit. I mean, in one way, yeah, this will develop character. And I don't have a problem with people doing whatever they decide to do. If somebody wants to fight a 30-minute fight, I don't have a problem with that. You know, you should be able to do it if you want to.
Jesus loves Chicago.
But the thing is,
Boston, you were doing brown belt.
yeah.
But
But the thing is, I'm not a promoter in Las Vegas.
Right, that's a big difference.
It's a big difference. And I'm not a professional fighter on television. I'm not necessarily saying there's anything wrong with what he did, because it is a part of the gym culture. It is a part of what's made champions. I mean, this kind of stuff, these heated battles, this is a very uncomfortable reality that elite fighters like Floyd Mayweather face. Like, to be that good, you have to be that real. And for a guy like him to show like these kind of crazy 30-minute no time limit fights in the gym and put it on TV, it's pretty wild. And I see both sides. I totally see Floyd Mayweather's side of it. Look at him. I mean, he feeds off that. But then guess what? That mentality is why that motherfucker was 49-0, right? That motherfucker is arguably the best boxer ever. Who got hurt less than Floyd Mayweather? Who boxed people's face off and everybody thought was going to kill him better than Floyd Mayweather? Remember when he fought Maidana? And he fought him the first time, and Maidana caught him in the exchanges. Ripped him down. And he fought again the second time, and he just put a clinic on Maidana. Just put a clinic on him. It's like all of a sudden Maidana was fighting a totally different guy. Like Floyd had figured out Maidana's style, or decided not to fuck around with his fight, decided, to really take him seriously and really focus on him. He just put his ass. It was really different.
Genius in a lot of ways.
We all agree with a lot of this shit he does.
But listen, man,
His self-promotion games off the charts. His self-promotion game is the greatest of all time. He just might be more money.
He's made me laugh at night sometimes. I watch Why still fight me 3 times a week? No one was on the motherfucker.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Well, I don't think what the fuck you want.
You don't get it not like that. It's just, you don't get that 49 unless he's that kind of kid. But I think he handles it as good as any fucking human being that can be in that position. And it's a crazy position to be in, to be a young guy with not much money. And you name some money Mayweather. I mean, who the fuck names himself money? I mean, he's hilarious.
Oh shit.
Exactly. Well, I mean, hold on right now.
Well, they might give it to me. I'll even let this be all the time. I'll even let this be Dallas Cowboy. That was a big beat. You understand me? I'm a big like that. I'm gonna show you rookie day. I'll give you the honor of 3 hits of ass. We're already 1,000 moves. In the offseason, rent the hotel and hang out with Pryor at the comedy store. Hollywood Henderson was the lab point assistant before Rick James. Before they played at the Broncos, just to name the fame, he went on national TV and took Ken Homage Crush. Then the Broncos figured that so football crushed him and juiced him on one hand. Well, Super Bowl he in the second score is it's just fucking on the wall. Big fucking, he talk shit. People hate him. They hate him. He talk shit. But on game day, he showed up. Then they threw him out. Fucking 2 fingers during the game. Cowboys saw him at that time.
It's 2 fingers. You can't do 2 fingers.
Watch, he advertised the towel. He was showing me these towels. And they were like the receiver's company. The next day, Tom Landry fired Hollywood Henderson. And after that, it was all over. He was smoking fucking crack and was his butt. He won the lottery in Texas. He won the lottery? He became a born-again Christian.
Oh my goodness.
Hollywood Henderson was my motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to be clear about all that stuff that we're saying about the Floyd Mayweather thing. I just think that athletic commissions, you know, like when they find people, when they get mad at people for stuff, it's like, sometimes they do it in a very heavy-handed way, and I think it's kind of obscene. Like,
Say hello to Price Right Basics. Like cloud and hypoallergenic diapers. Or fill up with inflow formula that is easy to digest proteins. All the things. For everything.
I did a lot in 1975, 2000. I'm going to kids. My grandmother was
obsessed with numbers.
yeah, I mean,
She was obsessed. She would always have like a number in her head that she thought it was going to be. It was like one off. She would come back. It was like a story she would tell you.
what would you say?
I say I was like 5. I just remember it very distinctly. My grandmother had been in jail for running numbers.
In New Jersey.
She wouldn't rat him out, so they put her in jail. So she made sweaters, gave sweaters to the guards. Mrs. D, she's the nicest
How
lady.
did you feel when your grandmother
We didn't find out until I was probably like, I think maybe I found out my teenage years. I was like, what? What the fuck? Like, people are gonna see her, like, where's her? I respect her, but people would say, you know, where is she? And she, oh, she went to visit her cousin. She went to see her aunt. She was like, okay for 6 months. I forget how much time it was, but every time I go, there's an excuse.
see New Jersey, they put you in New Jersey, they put you in jail for gambling in New York City, you know. Give you a ticket, give you like a ticket, shit, those days. Hollywood was like that. That's why they put you in jail for being down in New York City.
They're mad because, you know, their thing is that we're promoting ethical farming, and their beliefs is there is no such thing as ethical farming.
Right.
That is murder. And, if you look at murder in the dictionary, it has to do with humans. It has nothing to do with animals. And there is such a thing as ethical farming and sustainable farming. And we work really hard to make sure that where we get our meat from is from the best possible place we can. And it's local, so it's supporting our local farmers that are within hours of our restaurant.
Now, when you say that they started out nice, like, how many people were there in the beginning?
2, 3, 4.
And they had signs?
They had signs, and they were just kind of, promoting their message, but they weren't really yelling and screaming.
What escalated it?
So we would call the police. We kind of got wind of it on their Facebook groups. So we would call the police and have the police there to make sure everyone's safe. Because one thing, like, customers are scared, our staff are scared. Like, no one's dealt with this before. I've never dealt with this before. So we would have the police there. The police were amazing. And then, one time we kind of thought, okay, let's not call the police. Let's see what happens. Like, maybe they'll go away. And so then, like, a megaphone came out. Our neighbors were coming down and getting in fights with them, and it was ugly. So we called the police to come and
Jesus Christ.
keep the peace. Yeah,
A megaphone.
yeah.
Part of the problem with these kind of things is it becomes a contest. It becomes a battle, trying to see who's going to win. And they're absolutely on a team. I mean, that's one of the things that happens with veganism, and I think it happens with hunters too. Excuse me. People become very tribal, and it's us versus them, and they want to win, and then it becomes this thing where, look, the reality is, a lot of people are idiots. They don't have a lot going on in their life, and so when something comes up where it becomes a primary focus of their life, one restaurant, as illogical as it might be, that becomes the battleground, and it's an ideological battleground for don't eat meat ever versus sustainable farming. But I'm sure, I know you're a hunter, I'm sure you feel a certain amount of remorse when an animal dies.
100%. And that's a big part of sort of my beliefs and my philosophy, and why I'm working on this cookbook right now is because I think that if you do eat meat, you should be able to kill an animal and experience that. And I think that if people were to actually kill an animal, they would see what goes into that, and I don't think people would consume as much meat, and I don't think that people would definitely certainly wouldn't waste as much meat as they do, and it's just really upsetting, and I think it's totally misguided why we were targeted.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think it just becomes a hate. Yeah, it becomes a big tribal game. There's a real argument that I support against factory farming. And factory farming is the way most people are getting their meat in terms of like cheeseburgers and fast food and stuff along those lines. I mean, you're not getting it from the most ethical sources. It's not financially sustainable to do it that way. Everything would cost more money. And that's a real problem that we, as a society, it's not us. We set up the system, but that the system is a system that we find ourselves a part of. It's a real problem. I've removed myself from it for the most part, but occasionally I'm on the road and I'm hungry, and I'll eat some meat that's just whatever.
Totally, it's a necessary evil,
And sort of,
but
really necessary.
it's not really necessary at all. Maybe that's the wrong way to describe it, but it's how the system's been set up, and it's actually why I started hunting and doing what I do, because I watched these documentaries like Food Inc. and these things that kind of shone a light on the system and how this stuff is actually being produced, and it's horrible. It's terrifying.
Really is.
Yeah,
and I think that's the real number one problem.
And and this vegan activist message to go after these types of farming, we support as well. We agree with. So the fact that we were targeted for this was really, really frustrating.
People are not asking the right questions. They're not asking the right questions because they kind of think they already know the answers. Technology is being used that we never believed was possible.
Beginning in 1954, gravity control was mastered.
Nazi Germany, they were developing flying.
Straight by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night. All day.
Well, what the fuck were you talking about on the way in today? Talking about some gym where they're Dogfight.
Oh.
The fucking movie with the black dude. What's that movie? That kid came out here, Billy Corbin did.
Oh, Dogfight.
Yeah, then when we were talking about Dogfight, you were talking about some gym, and you said you would save it for the podcast.
This is what I was telling you. Like, do you know what happened with Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz?
With the
They
bottle.
threw water bottles at each other,
Right.
plastic water bottles. They got someone might have thrown a Monster Energy can. Someone throw a can. So if it can't hit you or someone you care about, that would suck. The water bottle's like. Anyway, they got fined $150,000, and you definitely shouldn't fucking throw water bottles, right? So part of me is like, well, if they can discourage throwing water balls, that shit's stupid, right? But the altercation's probably good for business. The altercation, I mean, I get excited. I see Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor screaming at each other, fuck you, no, fuck you, and they get crazy with each other. It makes me excited, and I think that generates pay-per-view buys. I don't think Conor's stupid. I don't think Nate's stupid. I think they're smart. I think they know what they're doing when it comes to that kind of stuff. So that's a part of the show. I mean, do you really think he was going to hit him with that water bottle? You know, fucking Nate Diaz, it's hard to hit him with a punch. How the fuck are you going to hit him with a water bottle that's coming from 300 feet away? He's not going to see that. He's not going to move out of the way of that water bottle. You know, I mean, what they decide to get upset about and what they don't decide to get upset about is what's weird about athletic commissions. You know, like one of the things they were talking about whether or not they were going to test Nate for his vape pen because he had a CBD vape pen, which is CBD not even psychoactive. It doesn't make you high, but it does alleviate some inflammation, and it provides people that have like, you know, back pain or something like that, or especially after a long fight, provides you with a little relief. But what's crazy is the only reason why they would want you to not do it, obviously it's not performance enhancing. You're not performing anymore. The performance is over. So are they protecting you from yourself? Like, what are they doing? They don't want you to do it because you're flaunting the fact that you're doing it in front of everybody.
Now,
Like,
did they piss him after the CBD or after he was smoking that?
I think he'd already done his post-fight
post-fight
thing. I
piss.
think you do that before you do the press conference, I think. I don't know, though. It's a good question. I'm not entirely sure. And they might do it differently in different places. But either way, you're not concerned about them. Like, what's the issue? Like, what is the issue? It's just, it looks bad. Does it look bad? Just that vapor's coming out? We're scared of dragons?
The CBD all business model.
Oh, I'm sure it did. And it should. And it should. And wait till it becomes legal. We're a month away. When it becomes legal, that's really going to go nuts. It's going to be good for everybody. But anyway, so they get fucking pissed at him for that. But the Conor, the fine was so high, like $150,000. Wow.
He said he made $40 million. Next time, shut your mouth. They won't fucking know.
That's true.
100, you know, even the other kid made $2-3 mil. Half of that after taxes, 1.5, 150. Don't really put a dent in your fucking pen. Next time, you won't throw fucking bottles.
That is,
Unless they both went to Danish and just checked up the things. Wanted to see it. Wanted to UFC pick up the tab. $300 because it came out of your fucking end for the pay-per-views. That's something. There's always 150 is not that bad. They walked away with a ton of loot.
it's a good point.
There's got to be some type of repercussion. 150 and they can fight again in November.
Right.
Listen, I got caught without a license 10, 15 years ago in LA. First time ever. I was talking on the phone. I got pulled over. He goes, "Where's your license?" It didn't work that day. I went down to LA County. I stood in front of a judge. Pop. The guy looked me straight in the face. He goes, "You paid $200 and come back with your license. Give me $550. I don't want to see you again." What do you think I did? You know, I gave him $200.
Give $550.
No, I gave him $550. And in time, I got my license. Not with a gun to my head.
Yeah.
Sometimes you pay a little extra to let you fight November to earn. Now you earn next time, and now you can map up that 150. You earn it. At least they're not suspended for fucking a year.
Yeah, that's true. Here's my thought. But I don't think 150 is bad if you got a good charity for it.
Let's send it to charity.
Yeah, instead of it going to an athletic department. I'm sure you have
A high
athletic
school
departments.
department somewhere,
Yeah.
maybe a girls' soccer team.
Yeah,
or
something like that,
I'll go
right?
for that.
There you go. That's like a good thing.
Way through in another sense.
Hey Google, 10-minute countdown.
Right. In the sense
10 minutes, starting now.
interestingness or in the conformal picture, We are already 3/4 of the way through.
So 14 billion to now. So we have how many
Can't
billion
count it
left?
as years, you see. The
Right.
trouble is it's a cheat.
It's a cheat.
The year count is as much as you like. It depends on something else. The mass has to fade out. How you measure time becomes problematic. And it's either infinity, which is much use, or you might have a different definitions of time, which depend on what particle you're using as your clocks and things like that.
So, are you essentially saying that it's entirely possible that we are the furthest in terms of our technological achievement and our understanding of the universe itself? It's possible that we're at the front line. But there might be some other intelligent life forms in the universe, but they might be behind us.
Well, they would have been. I'm not saying they got through. You see, well,
Right.
maybe they have techniques for getting through. That's a bit hard to imagine. But maybe information from them would get through.
That you mean from the previous eon?
Yes, yes.
Oh, they might have got through, like somehow or another survived.
Yes, but it would have to be in the form of photons or something. Yeah, no, you could. It's not. I'm talking about ridiculous
Right.
speculation.
Sure, but
So,
encoding information
Yes.
into photons?
yes, yes.
Wow.
It's conceivable.
Sure.
And I don't want to say that I see it happening. I think that it's not out of the question that they could develop some technology which would get information which might be then, in some sense, across in the form of photons.
But you're not optimistic about current intelligent life somewhere in the universe?
Not too optimistic, just because. Well, maybe it took us a long time to get going because the dinosaurs were there for a while. Somebody might have got in there earlier in their different planet, and they could have got there quite ahead of us. It's conceivable. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm just not terribly optimistic about it. No, I think it's worth doing. It's worth looking.
Yes, but it's not something that you're really
It's not
curious
something
about.
I'm expecting. It's not so much. I'd be curious certainly, but I'm not expecting it. I guess.
Is it just because of the overall lack of real evidence and it's just not an attractive thing for you to pursue?
It's quite attractive.
It sure
I
certainly would be.
don't
if
know.
it was
I've
you.
just been doing other things, and I don't know. It's not to do. I haven't really come to terms with it very hugely. So I know there's this activity, and I'd be interested to see if any kind of, if there was this thing that came past that some people speculated was sent there by some different intelligence, which came quite close in our solar system.
Oh, that was that strange-looking cigar-shaped.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any real reason to believe it's an alien.
Was it because of the way it was traveling that was the
Yes,
idea?
There was something. I know
Somebody
some
curious about it?
serious people did suggest it might be something said by an alien civilization. Well, it's worth connect with them in some way. But I don't know. I guess it's too far away now.
Well, that's another thing that's so uniquely fascinating for us, the concept of another life form out there.
Oh, sure.
There's a place where the Witch of the West meets the King in the North, where countless Oscars meet one Oscar, and a fresh prince meets a dark knight. Or two. It's where friends get together and laugh about life, while others keep coming back to life. It's where all of HBO meets the greatest collection of movies, shows, and new Max originals for everyone in the family. HBO Max, where HBO meets so much more.
I'm poly-bi, and I'm also fluid gender. My favorite thing is to be fluid gender because you can go however you're feeling.
But people have to know what to call you, so you have to update them on your pronouns constantly.
For doing what you're doing right now, I'm a generation older than you guys. I know comedy better than anybody in this room. That's for goddamn sure. And I know disrespect, and I've been through a lot of shit. Like, I know that what...
Thanks, man. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for coming in.
100%, man.
People don't know the story. Give them the brief synopsis. I found out about your story online because there was this viral thing that was going on about a chef was getting protested by a bunch of animal rights activists and vegans who decided to camp out in front of your business and try to, a restaurant called Antler in Toronto, try to, I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do, but you decided to butcher a leg of deer in front of them. And it became this horrific thing. Like, how could you do that in a place that serves meat? How could you prepare the meat right in front of them? Like, how did this all get started? How did it become such a crazy viral story? And why were they mad at you when there's a million other restaurants around you?
All right, so it started in about December of
Clue number one, possibly Canadian.
The crazy Canadian.
Besides being nice.
Well, that's why it went viral, because I wasn't being nice. I wasn't the stereotypical Canadian. No.
Well, you weren't even being mean. You were just doing your job and
doing my thing. So they started in December, and they
Trying
really
to keep this right in front of your eyes.
So they really got pissed off with we have a little chalkboard sign up front. I'll give you the we have a 45-seat restaurant, so we're small. I have one business partner who's my best friend and family friend, and we had a little chalkboard sign up front that said "Venison is the new kale." And we get cute with our sign. We tease other restaurants around us, like we have fun with this sign, and it's fun. And this cyclist vegan rode by and took huge offense to our sign, and all of a sudden one day these protesters just showed up. So. Originally, I was just kind of frustrated because they're totally misguided, because we take a lot of pride in where our food comes from. We have vegan and vegetarian dishes on the menu, and I really respect that type of diet. So we were just totally floored with why this was happening. And so this started going, they'd sort of come every week, and they went from like 2 or 3 people being kind of peaceful to being like 10, 15 people not so peaceful. So when it turned not so peaceful, they were shouting at our guests and shouting in our door and really trying to harm our business. That I just kind of got fed up. Last resort, went down. We get a whole deer a couple times a month, and we butcher it ourselves. And I said, screw it. I'm gonna get these people to get out of here. So I thought that would make them go away.
How did you think that was going to make them go away and not escalate?
I don't know. It was just totally like last resort. Totally fed up. I wanted to defend myself, defend our customers. You could see people walking in visibly upset. They're being shouted at, being screamed at, called a murderer as they're walking in for dinner. Like you're going on a date, you want to use time, and then people are screaming at you. Just for eating. So I was just fed up, and I just kind of thought buzz off.
And why? So just one sign. Venison is the new kale. One sign. Set this whole thing off.
Yeah.
And you're surrounded by restaurants. I mean, I know where you are.
So we're surrounded by restaurants.
Toronto.
There's an actual butcher shop across the street, and if you go in, there's like whole cattle hanging.
That's okay.
In the butcher shop.
But
Yeah.
you're a problem with your comparison to kale. You attacked their sacred kale. God.
We were promoting meat. I don't know.
That's what
totally
it is?
bizarre.
Because you were promoting it?
We were promoting it, or
On the side.
yeah.
So
No
you
idea.
just didn't promote anything.
Yeah.
And they were allowed to cycle by and treat with broccoli
Yeah.
without any interference.
Yeah, man. I have no
How
idea.
many
It's
times
totally bizarre.
I'm sorry, how many times did they protest you?
I think it's about 8 now. 8. They're coming weekly.
They still do.
They still do. There's one this Friday.
Oh, Jesus. So they organized them.
They organize them. There's like Facebook groups. There's they're basically giving us an ultimatum. We have to put their slogan in our window, and they'll go away. But,
What?
Yeah.
What's their slogan? We are cunts.
There's like I can't remember it, word for word, but it's like killing animals is wrong. They have feelings.
What?
Yeah.
Do you have to put that in your window?
We're not going to. There's no way.
But
no.
that's
So
what they want.
That's what they want. Yeah.
That's
so it's
hilarious.
like eco-terrorism, extortion, whatever you want to call it.
Wow. Well, the part of this that drives me the most crazy is the fact that you're surrounded by restaurants.
We're surrounded by restaurants.
You're surrounded by, like you said, you're across the street from the butcher shop. 97% of the people in the world eat meat. Something's crazy.